Welcome back, rum fans. Coming up in show 3 of the Rum Show. Today's in part 1. Today's rum of the week is Angostura 1919. And then in part 2, we're going for kind of a, well, I suppose it's spiced rum, but kind of like a flavoured rum. This is Central Galactic, kind of hints of raspberry, but I'll talk you a bit more through that coming up in part 2. And then part 3, the mixer of the week is Gunna's Turtle Juice. So that is what you've got coming up in store for today's show. So let's just pop these out the way and one side. Angostura 1919. I did put a poll out on Instagram actually, and it was so close. It was between this and Chairman's Reserve rum, of which one I should feature this week. It was so close. I've never had a poll that close before. They went up to just over 200, I think it was like 254, 255 votes, and there was literally 3 in it. By the time it sort of disappeared after 24 hours. Angostura 1919 was in the lead all the way, and then for the last couple of hours, literally Chairman's Reserve kind of pipped it, but then in the last hour, this actually won by 2 votes. It was so close. So I think it's pretty fair to say that Chairman's Reserve will feature next week. I think that's a good shout. But Angostura 1919, why did I go for this over the 7-year-old? Honestly, I don't actually know. It would have been a good starting point to do the 7-year-old, but we will come back and feature that. But also I will say about this was when I first started getting properly into rum, and I can kind of pinpoint this roughly to about 2005, give or take. It might have been 4, it might have been 6, but give or take 2005. This was actually the second rum, proper rum that I ever had in the bar that I was running at the time. The first one was El Dorado 12, and I'm talking like proper sipping rums, like better quality rums. The first one was El Dorado 12-year-old. The second one was Angostura 1919. So it's been around quite a long time. I might, these are unedited, but I might kind of flash the old bottle up there because it's only recently changed, probably in the last couple of years. I don't know actually, but probably in the last couple of years. It was kind of like a square bottle of the Angostura. Kind of all the Angostura range was kind of a little bit mismatched. Now they're all pretty much similar in, I think they're all similar. I think the 7-year-old is a similar bottle. I'm sure it is. Yeah, bang, they're identical. So the whole range is kind of sort of mashed together now, and there is another one, 1787, I think it is, off the top of my head. But this was the kind of one that I fell in love with. Very different to the El Dorado 12-year-old, and again, I love both of them equally. But it was just one of my go-to rums. Just to give you, I've kind of got, as always, I've kind of got my notes up there because I don't want to, I know quite a lot about it, but I don't want to give you wrong information. And I certainly don't want to forget to tell you anything that you kind of need to know. So I've got my notes up there. Obviously, it's a Trinidad and Tobago rum. That's where Angostura comes from. And if you're thinking, I haven't got the actual bottle because I've decanted. The actual bottle's in Drink Stuff showroom. But Angostura Bitters, Angostura Orange Bitters, you know Angostura Bitters. Same people. House of Angostura is the same people. So Angostura rum, that is who it is. Trinidad and Tobago. This is a 40%er. It's an English style of rum. Distilled from molasses, so not kind of sugarcane. It's distilled from the molasses, the byproduct, which again is, as I say, it's an English style of rum, kind of very different to your Spanish styles and your French, your rum agricoles in that sort of sense. It's a blend of single column still rums, and it's blends of 5 to 14-year-old rums that goes into making it. So bearing in mind, and 1919, that's not how old the rum is. That's just kind of the brand it is. It's a blend of 5 to 14-year-old rums. All of them are single column still rums. So when you go off into your own little rum journeys, you can see the difference between pot still, which typically kind of Jamaican rums, column stills, continuous column stills, all that sort of thing. So this is single column, not mass-produced column stills like Bacardi will be and all that. I think Bacardi will, I'm sure it will be continuous. I don't know actually. I can't say I've ever seen a photo of Bacardi still, but I'm sure it'll be continuous still. Anyway. So that's what Angostura 1919. Now, I've got the tasting notes. I never go the tasting notes off the actual brand website. I can't remember. I will link in the show description of where I get the tasting notes from. It's the rum. It's the rum. Some of the rum gurus that I kind of like always read their reviews, kind of loosely, kind of follow them, but not too much because I know everyone's got a different palate. Now, the tasting notes in the nose. is very different to what they say on the actual bottle here. So just to read you off the back of the bottle. Nearly 200 years of expertise is captured in this blend of aged rums from the tropical islands of Trinidad and Tobago. With a bouquet of cocoa, coconut and vanilla, we believe that you'll drink no smoother rum than Angostura 1919. There's actually quite a lot of information on there for a rum, a proper rum. Proper rums don't tend to have that much kind of, except for Plantation, that's got whole blogs written on their bottles. But on the tasting notes, so bearing in mind, where do we go? We've got a bouquet of cocoa, coconut and vanilla. The tasting notes on these, this is 2 different sites that I use for this. Rich and spiced, cola, toasty oak, vanilla spice. So they agree with the vanilla, caramel, plenty of ginger and molasses. And then one of the others got honey and pear. Now, I'll be honest, let's have a little guzzle on that. The nose-wise for me is exactly what it says on the bottle. Chocolate, subtle, kind of like if you had chocolate bitters to like a daiquiri, for instance, kind of that sort of subtle chocolate that comes off there. I definitely get kind of, so that would be the cocoa, obviously, or cacao, whatever you want to call it. I definitely get the coconut coming off there. And what else do they say? Vanilla. Maybe a subtle hint of vanilla. But cola? I don't. Bearing in mind, this is not a proper tasting glass. It's pretty much close to what you're going to get. It's not one of those, what do they call them? The Glen Cairns, is it? It's not one of those proper tasting glasses. But I really don't get cola off that. I don't get ginger either. Honey, I don't know. And then palate, right. So it goes, the palate, we've got juicy, sweet, allspice, caramel, creamy vanilla, molasses, apricot and maple. Okay, interesting. Mouthfeel, caramel, boom. Just kind of coating your kind of gums in your mouth there. Huge amounts of caramel in there. For me, I didn't actually look at it. I don't think I noted it down if it is in there. I don't actually know the amount of sugar that's added there. Bearing in mind, I don't want to touch on this too much in rums, but bearing in mind for EU market, rums can add up to 20 grams of sugar per litre to a rum. It's kind of, I wouldn't say kind of flake, well, yeah, sort of, basically for consistency. No proper rum brand is going to add sugar to it to kind of make it taste better. They're just going to kind of add sugar to it for consistency, like a barrel from year to year might be different. So that's where the kind of sugar element comes. And to kind of relate this to spiced rums, I'm kind of going to, I've had quite a few questions about this after the first show. I completely forgot to mention it in show 2. To kind of give, so in the European market, I don't know what it is for Americas and all that. I haven't really paid attention to that. But in the EU, as I say, up to 20 grams of sugar can be added to a rum. And that's it. That's the legal level, 20 grams. To relay that to spiced rums will have anything. Some spiced rums, the proper ones. I've mentioned this again. It's behind my bum, I think. So your Black Tears, for instance, your Chairman's Reserve spiced. And there's a few more other brands out there. Foursquare spiced, they will have minimal sugar in there. Maybe tiny more than 20 grams, but not too much more. A standard sort of spiced rum in the UK could be anywhere between 50 grams and kind of like 100, 120. I have found or heard of or been told of a spiced rum that's got 150 grams of sugar per litre. Now to compare that to a liqueur, like a Bowls liqueur, I've got some here for instance, I can't be bothered to get the Giffards off there. But Bowls liqueur, again, I don't know the exact sugar levels, but you will be talking roughly 200 grams and upwards in a liqueur. So you can kind of see the comparisons between rum at up to 20 and then spiced rum at sort of 50 to 100, 120, and then your liqueurs at 200 grams. So I kind of just want to touch on it. Now, the whole reason for that was a very elongated way of saying that on the mouthfeel, it does feel a little bit kind of sugary to me, but I kind of love that. Now, I know that it's got no more than 20 grams in there. Absolutely know that. But that doesn't lose the rum kind of, and I absolutely love it. It's such a cliched word, but there is no other word to really describe it. It is super smooth going down. I'm talking a bit because I want to kind of get that lengthy finish off there. I get vanilla. I definitely get caramel. 100% get caramel. What else did I say? Apricot? Maple? I'm not really getting apricot or maple coming off it. I don't know why I'm spelling it again. I'm not really getting apricot or maple. Definitely, I'd say definitely vanilla, definitely caramel. I don't get the cocoa, but then it says a bouquet of cocoa on there. But it's just super, super gorgeous. Basically, me personally, I would kind of use it as a sipping rum. But it will be equally at home in cocktails and things like that. So, where have we got? Price-wise, these are the other things I just want to kind of point to you. Price-wise, should be just under 30 quid in the UK. So actually not a bad price point for a rum. I think the Angostura 7-year-old, sorry, is maybe mid-20s, so maybe about 25. So actually it's really good all-rounder to have decent sipping rum, but actually cocktails as well. So I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to do the taste test with this. Completely forgot to do the daiquiris last week with the pusses as well. That was the error of my ways, trying to do 5 rums all in one go. So we're just going to maybe 1, maybe 2 there, but kind of that's how we're going to kind of roll this there. So so what have I put there? I've put, so just under 30 quid should be, my price is roughly about 28 including VAT, so whatever you should be roughly about 30 to 32 pounds for you guys. Great sipping rum, great for cocktails. Now if you're following along in the Smuggler's Cove categories, we use that, especially my Legends community. That's kind of our base of how we categorise rums. I think that's a genius way. I've talked about it in previous other videos and talk about it quite a bit in my live shows on Sunday night. I think that's a great way. Now, for me, I've categorised this in kind of in between. So I've called it, they don't really have it in number-wise in Smuggler's Cove, but I've kind of called it 4B. So normal 4 is column stilled aged rums. So for that, we've got Angostura 7-year-old, we've got Bacardi 8-year-old, Flor de Caña 7-year-old, Havana 7-year-old, Plantation, Guatemala and Belize. They are kind of your standard aged column still aged rum, category 4. For what I've called 4B, which is I've called it just long aged, column still long aged. This for me goes up with the Flor de Caña 12, the Flor de Caña 18-year-old, and the Santiago, wherever it's gone. Is it behind the bar? I don't know where it's gone now. It's the Santiago de Cuba 11-year-old. Now, it won't look like that anymore because I think they've had a rebrand, and I think Diageo now, as of this year, are kind of the importers for Santiago de Cuba. But that's a great, great rum as well. So that's kind of the category it sits in. Right then, so let's get into the tasting of this. I've just filmed the cutaway. The members, my Legends community, I've just filmed the exclusive content for you. This is your rum cocktail of the week. Everyone else is not a member. I'm really sorry, but you're never going to know what that is. So that will go into, that will be the members, the exclusive video that drops straight after this, and the recipes will go into the Discord, the sort of private Discord there. So that cocktail is absolutely banging. More of a kind of fun tropical cocktail than tiki, but absolutely banging. Love that. So this is the part where I'm going to do the quick tasting of this. I completely kind of forgot to do the daiquiri with the Pussers range last week with all of them. So standard off. Now, I'm not convinced that you would buy Angostura 1919 to mix, but why not? It's a really, really good rum. You know, for under £30, it's not massively expensive, that you kind of like the £50 Pussers that you kind of wouldn't want to mix. You kind of want to treat it as like proper, but kind of it's in that bracket where, do you know what? I would quite happily sort of pay that for a decent kind of mixed rum. So first up, we've got Angostura 1919 with Coke. I've added some, I would always drink my drinks with ice. So I'm going to do it properly with ice this week. Exceptional rum and Coke. It really is. I get the nice kind of rum coming through there. It just goes really, really well. I can't say any more than that. It's a really, really good rum and Coke. Next up, we have got rum and ginger ale. I've stolen Mummy Barman's again. I completely forgot to get my own little stash, so I'm going to get little cans next week. I really can't done to this. In the UK, we've had this sort of banter with the Canadians and the Americans for ages. They have Canada Dry to them. It's a separate brand to Schweppes. Okay, completely and utterly separate brand. In the UK, Our Schweppes Ginger Ale has been Canada Dry since the age of time. It's the same company, okay, Canada Dry, Schweppes Ginger Ale. However, in the last few years, Schweppes have rebranded to just Schweppes Ginger Ale. However, I only just noticed it does still have the Canada Dry logo on the front. I completely missed that. I didn't really see. So it is still officially Canada Dry, but I know they're different brands over for you guys, but Schweppes Canada Dry is exactly the same brand in the UK. So ginger ale. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh yeah, the kind of rum. Oh, that's a really good rum and ginger ale. Oh, I like that. I do like that. Really, really good. Now probably Kevin, you know, me and Kevin, we're on our kind of Fever Tree Spiced Orange Ginger Ales. It's our kind of go-to mixer. I absolutely love it. The full fat version as well, not the semi-skimmed version that you'll probably see in supermarkets. They do it in the big, 500ml bottles. You want the full fat version. That is absolutely amazing. One of the best mixes ever. So Fever Tree Spiced Orange Ginger Ale. That works really well together, actually. Ginger. Over the last couple of years, I've got more into becoming a ginger ale fan than a ginger beer fan. This is my ginger beer. This is what's coming next. I know it's Gunna's. It's their ginger lemonade. It's called ginger lemonade. It's still a ginger beer, effectively. It's just less carbonated, which suits me perfectly. That's kind of where I'm at these days. It's nice, but I definitely prefer the ginger ales. 100% prefer the ginger ales. It is nice. I probably wouldn't. I don't know. A different ginger ale might be, because it has got a different kind of bite to it. But different ginger ale for you guys, whether it's Fever Tree, whether it's Old Jamaica, whatever brand you have, it might be a bit different for you guys. But I'm definitely in the ginger ale camp. So I would go ginger ale first, Coke second, ginger beer third for the mixers. Don't forget, we're going to be tasting that with the Gunna Tropical Soda in part 3 as well. And then the last one, this is the important test, and how I forgot to do it with the pussers last week. I completely forgot. But this, for me, is the important test, a proper daiquiri. 2 1/2, 2 parts rum, 1 part freshly squeezed lime juice, 1/2 a part citrus. Oh my God. That is to die for. Oh, that's a really good daiquiri. Now, I come back to it. Would you use this in rum cocktails? That tastes exceptional. It does taste really, really good. Other rums, it probably will taste as good, slightly different, but obviously it's still as good. However, daiquiris, you're always going to kind of have like daiquiris and things like that with decent rums. It's just so, so good. So, pretty much, do you know what? Pretty much of an all-rounder. 30 quid, give or take. Decent to sip neat. Decent for mixing. Decent for cocktails and especially daiquiris. So this is part 2 of the show, the part where we kind of feature a spiced or a flavoured rum of the week. This week I'm going for Central Galactic. I don't kind of know whether to call it a spiced or a flavoured rum, but we shall go down that road. We shall get there in the end with it. Big shout out to Master of Malt that have sent me this. They sent me, I'm going to say 2 months, but I think it's probably a lot longer than that, probably 6 months ago now. I generally can't pinpoint it. But this is one of the brands that you won't have seen it too much on social media, unless you have been onto a Master of Malt website. You might have seen it there. But they kind of, Master of Malt are very good at retargeting ads in the UK. So Instagram and Facebook, you know, it might have followed you about and that might be one of the brands that pops through. This is for Master of Malt in the UK, to kind of explain it for those of you that don't know, the UK people what should know. But it's kind of the website that it's one of the biggest up there with the Whiskey Exchange, one of the big kind of go-to online wholesalers to get your booze. But like Whiskey Exchange, speciality brands and all that, what people don't realise about Master of Malt, they have got their separate arms as well of brands and spirits and all that. And Central Galactic is one of those. So for instance, you kind of might know Drinks by the Dram in the UK. Say they were one of the first ones to do like little 30ml drams of just taster spirits, and so that's what these are. Big shout out to Pete Holland. I don't think you'll ever watch this, but Pete, if you do watch this, we need to sit down and chat about that boutique rum company as well. I kind of need to get my head around some of them. That boutique rum company, for those of you that have seen it, and the boutique gin and all that in the UK, is another kind of atom brand. But the boutique stuff, rum especially, is proper rums. 500ml bottles, single kind of single distilleries and all that sort of stuff. So that's another rabbit hole I need to go down. That'd be a great interview with or chat with Pete for that. But so we've got that. So boutique. So we've got Drinks by the Dram, and that boutique rum company is there. Big ones that I've always done. Where have I put them? They're up here. That you kind of might have seen me sort of shout about. These are actually essentially Master of Malt Atom brands as well. The Jaffa Cake and the Rum Bullion, which is one of my go-to all-time favourite sort of spiced rums. So which leaves us with kind of Central Galactic. Now, I will, so just to give you, let's dive down. There's a bit of marketing on the side of the bottle, but I want to read you the actual marketing blurb, which you could quite easily rip off the Master of Malt website. Where's my little mouse gone? There it is. Right, I'm going to read you this. I really don't know what to make of it, but it's quite funny, and I'll try and read it properly so you understand it. Right. What if we told you could taste the centre of the galaxy? Don't believe us? Well, around a decade ago, scientists, yes, actual scientists, peeked through a massive telescope at a vast dust cloud in the middle of the Milky Way and came across a particular ester which happens to be responsible for the taste of raspberries, as well as smelling of rum. It wasn't what they were looking for, but we're sure glad they found it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had Central Galactic Spiced Rum. So did you get that? I won't repeat it. The creative folks behind this expression took note of the findings and decided to recreate those flavours in a bottle. To a base of aromatic Caribbean rum, spiced rum, they added pot distilled fresh raspberry distillate, as well as star anise. Get it? Star anise. I don't get that. I've read that 3 or 4 times. I still don't get that. So basically they take raspberry, raspberry distillate, and as well as star anise. Get it? It's obviously so obvious to me that's just gone completely over my head. I don't get it. But anyway, there's something there. All I'm getting is stars. I don't know. I don't know what the joke is there, but I'm assuming there is a joke, really obvious. Let me go. The creative folks behind this expression took note of the findings and decided to recreate those flavours in a bottle. To a base of aromatic Caribbean spiced rum, they added pot distilled fresh raspberry distillate, as well as star anise, and cold distilled lime peel. Brackets. Okay, that had nothing to do with space, but the added zing of citrus. An absolutely stellar bottling. So, now the one thing I will say about ignoring the boutique rum, which are very, very forthcoming in what the rum is, because that's what it's all about, whether it's a Foursquare rum, whether it's Greensand Ridge rum, or whatever. You will never kind of know too much about the rums that go into these. And that's the only kind of downfall with the spice sort of rum in general, to be fair. Some are, some aren't. You just really don't know. So we don't really know what rums are gone there. All we've got is Caribbean spiced rum. I'll give you the notes and the tasting notes in a minute. And there's just a subtle little hint of marketing on the back here. Way back in the midst of time, a team of biochemists searching amid the amino acids, the building blocks of life, found something else lurking in the centre of the Milky Way, a chemical compound known as ethyl formate. Ethyl formate smells of rum and tastes like raspberries. So fine Caribbean rum blended with fresh raspberries. So this is the actual rum in itself. Fresh Caribbean rum blended with fresh raspberries, cold distilled dehydrated raspberry powder, lime and star anise. So tasting wise, smelling wise, it's a 43.5% ABV rum. So quite punchy. And I've tasted this many times before, as you can see. I've had a good go at this. Let's just give you so the official nose, and this is direct off Master of Malts. This is, the rum gurus are not going to be reviewing this. So this is directly off Master of Malt. Suitable spicy boastings, heaps of ginger, cinnamon and cardamom, with an oily orange peel and a lick of licorice in support. Top notes of tantalising, juicy raspberry sweetness keep it vibrant. raspberry. 100% raspberry in there. I don't get much ginger and I don't get much cinnamon on the nose. Definitely no cardamom. Also really get is kind of, there is something there. It may be ginger actually. It may be the ginger. There is something there sort of behind the raspberry, but it's kind of raspberry that hits me. Not, don't want you to get this into your head that this is a raspberry flavoured rum. It is not. When we're talking like Dead Man's Fingers or Bacardi Raspberries or whatever they called it, it is nothing like that. They are out and out, basically rum-based raspberry liqueurs, whatever you want to call them. This is rum first and foremost. So let's move on to the palate. Sweet, fruity raspberry hits the back palate while those tingling spices return, bringing warmth and orange marmalade without the bits, obviously. They're very good at the pun. They're very good at the jokes in it, right in here. I'm probably murdering them, but there we go. Alongside a sprinkling of rich brown sugar and toffee notes. So that is enough to get me excited. That's why I was kind of like, oh, you can send me that. So let's have a little taste. I have to say, I really, really like this. There is a bit of an alcohol burn. Obviously, it's 43.5%. The extra kind of, well, actually, let's be honest, a lot of spiced rums are 37.5%. So, but even a 40%, the extra sort of 3.5 to maybe 6.5% ABV does add the burn. It is not an ethanol burn. We've had a lot of spiced rums where they are terrible rum, and you kind of get that sort of ethanol by. I don't get that with that. I get rum burn from it, and it actually tastes really good. It's tastes, and the next bit, the finish, raspberry jam lingers alongside zingy lime peel and cinnamon, scattering vanilla pod. For me, that line there absolutely nails it. I couldn't disagree. I couldn't agree more with it. So raspberry jam lingers alongside zingy lime peel, cinnamon, and a scattering of vanilla. When you hold it in your mouth, raspberry jam comes out at you. I get vanilla. I actually get quite a bit of ginger off there as well. I really, really, really like it. It's not an overly sweet. You could never use that as a raspberry flavour. Never. You know, it's not that forthcoming in raspberry. It is rum first and foremost with raspberry. So for me, I kind of have to categorise this as a spiced rum that's got a hint of raspberry in it, as opposed to a flavoured rum, like a raspberry flavoured rum. Because it is spiced first and foremost. It's just got that kind of zesty kind of raspberry notes to it. I really, really, really do like that. And just the last couple of things before we dive into the tasting. It's quite expensive though. I think it's worth it though. It's just under 30 quid. Again, I think my price was about 27 quid if I was going to buy that. So it is a little bit more expensive than your DMFs, than some of your other kind of there. But as I say, I do think the quality of it is far superior than those kind of £20, £22 spiced rums. It is a very, very good. And the more that lingers, the more kind of the sweetness comes out. It is definitely not a sweet rum. If I was going to go back to do the sweetness scales of it, that for me would probably sit at a 2 out of 5 for me. I'd put the DMFs, and that's maybe like actually 5s are kind of hard to do that. For me, that's probably like a 3 to a 4 out of 10 on the sweetness scale. DMF I would put at maybe like a 7 out of 10. What else? Bombo. I would put like a 9 out of 10. Bamboo, I would put sort of a 7 out of 10. Those are your sort of comparisons. So just under 30 quid. I've put great sipping rum because I really do think it is. I would love the ice cube in there because the ice, the little bit of dilution just brings those flavours out a little bit more, even though I do like to sip it neat at room temperature, but just to kind of release those flavours, a little bit of ice. But it is also a great cocktail rum, as you will see in a minute. Now let's get on to the tasting. This is what you're all interested in. I have just filmed my exclusive membership content. There are the 2 cocktails there. Oh, they are spot on. But don't worry, don't forget about you guys as well. We have got a cocktail coming up for you guys as well. But tasting wise, because this is where kind of spiced flavoured rum is, it's kind of more geared towards simple highballs, but also simple cocktails. And I think these do work quite well. What you've got coming up in a minute is a riff on the Jungle Bird. I think this riff is going to be a great crossover because the Jungle Bird is a proper kind of out there tiki cocktail for proper rums. But I think with a couple of little flips, I think this could be a very accessible tasty cocktail for the spiced rum family. So let's go on to it. So that's a daiquiri. We'll get onto that in a minute. So how are you going to, spiced rum fans, you know, use very simple a lot of the time. So but that, no, don't mean that in the wrong way, because that's how I flip and drink a lot of spiced rums as well. Or you kind of use rum for cocktails, but then spiced rum for mixers because they've got a lot of flavours. But if you can be bothered, tell you, the raspberry comes off of this. If you could be bothered to kind of play about in cocktails, you can have a lot of fun with spiced rum cocktails. In actually, I wouldn't say tiki-wise, but tropical-wise, actually potentially quite a bit more fun than normal rum because you've got so many different flavours and spices to play around with. No two sort of spiced rums are the same these days. So let's get on to it. That's kind of what I like. It's a bit of fun, isn't it? A bit of fun. So Central Galactic. I keep thinking I've got it the wrong name, but Central Galactic with Coke. As we've got like a dogfight going on outside there. Don't know whether you'll pick that up, but there we go. Row, row, row. Interestingly, it's nice. And this was it. I wasn't a huge fan of the raspberry Cokes that they did, and I think they might have done a strawberry Coke. But you know the flavoured Coca-Colas they did. There was a mango, there was a peach, the raspberry. I wasn't a huge fan of them. I loved the vanilla, loved the cinnamon. And there was one more that I loved. Can't think what that was. I'm not convinced by that. It's nice, but I'm not convinced. So that was normal Coke Zero anyway. It was so Coke Zero. Next up, we have got the old Canada Dry. It's a ginger ale. Oh, see, that's where it plays. Oh, that's kind of interesting. That's where it plays a bit nicer. Do you know what? To be fair, actually, I think that's going to have a lot of fans with Coke. I think that, I think that is going to have a lot of fans because it is that twist. It's just I don't really get that. I don't get the flavoured Cokes, the fruity flavoured Cokes for me. I don't get them. But I think that's actually, this is kind of interesting though. The ginger kind of really plays well with the raspberry. That's like that. Spiced orange ginger ale. That's next up. Oh wow, that's good. Oh, that's good. I think I'm secretly becoming, well, not so secret, I'm becoming a huge ginger ale fan now. As I've got older, the ginger beers have gone, but I'm loving the ginger ales. That's really nice. Now, I've got high hopes for this. I've not actually had it. I've had this with ginger beer a lot of times. I've not actually had it with Gunna's Ginger Rebel, whatever it's called. I'd say, is it a rename? I think that might be an old tin. Is it still Ginger Rebel? I can't think. Anyway. Actually, that's my favourite. Ginger beer, that is my favourite. That's really good. The extra feistiness, the extra kind of, feistiness of ginger beer. That's what comes through. That's really good. The gingers are brilliant. But the ginger beer, I can't wait to try that in a minute with the Gunna soda. That's part 3. Right then, the daiquiri. The daiquiri challenge. I haven't shaken these. I've just kind of had the daiquiri mix pre-mixed for, it's been in the fridge for about an hour while I've been filming this, so it's properly chilled. A couple of ice cubes in there. So 2 parts rum, 1 part lime juice, half part sugar, 2 1/2. Out and out favourite. Out and out favourite. The ginger beer is special. But that daiquiri, oh my word, that's delicious. Which is, I won't, legends, you're going to see exactly what that is. That's a play on that. And that's why that works so well, because that is flipping tasty. Oh, the raspberry. Oh, that's going to sit there. Right. Now, as I don't want to leave you out, I kind of want to give you cocktails as well. And you will sort of see photos of these on Instagram. Let's get involved. Let's show you a cocktail. As I say, I'm not going tiki cocktails too much with these. That will live on my Sunday night live shows. But this is kind of a riff on the Jungle Bird. The Jungle Bird would traditionally use Campari, but I think that's for spiced rum community. On the whole, I'm generalising here, but on the whole, I think the spiced rum community, Campari is going to be way too bitter, way too bitter. Oh, the gas is coming now. Really, really sorry. I'm sorry. I can't handle the fizzy stuff or a lot of sugar stuff, but so Campari I think is going to be way too bitter, but a good little flip in that, and you could use Pampel as well, but I'm just going to, because of the raspberry now, I think that the Pampel is essentially grapefruit forward, so I'm going to stick with Aperol for this. So we've got Aperol, we've got sugar, we've got pineapple juice, and we've got lime juice, but that bitter element going in with cocktails really does work a treat. So where is it? There we go. So we're going 45 ml, 1.5 ounces of our Central Galactic Spiced Rum. So 45 ml of that. Campari, as it's not that bitter, I'm going 20 ml. So 2/3 of an ounce. Cool, I haven't opened that for a while. So 20 ml of Aperol. Did I just say Campari? For some reason, I think I just said Campari. I don't know. Anyway, we shall see. We shall see when I watch it back. Right. We're going 10 ml sugar syrup. Now you can play about with this. Up this if you need to. For most people, I will know that this is perfect. So 10 ml of sugar syrup there. That's a little bit of your sweetness. Lime juice, what have I got for my lime juice? 15 ml of lime juice, 1/5, half an ounce. And then the final ingredient is your pineapple juice, and it should be 2 ounces, yeah, 60 ml. 60 ml proper pressed pineapple juice. Lovely, jubbly. Right, I think Jungle Birds are traditionally kind of, it's nearly done now, blended. Do you know what? I don't know. I've just done a mental block. I'm going to shake this down. I'm gonna give it a good old shaky. That'll do. And I'm gonna serve it up in a rocks glass. What should we do? Let's do the Jungle Bird. It's just right there at the front. Let's just do. That's not very exciting, is it? I know. Let's do a Jungle Bird in that. That's a little bit sort of more exciting, isn't it? Right. Here we go. Right, proper frothy. The one thing I noticed, we did the Jungle Bird on a live show, probably, I don't know, a couple of months ago now. The one thing I did notice, the extra dilution, after we did blend it then, and after a while, the dilution, it kicked in a bit more after a while. So, I don't know why I'm double straining. Single strain. It's kind of a small glass, that, isn't it? I'll sort that out for the thumbnail and all that. But garnish-wise, I've got like a pineapple there. How do we skewer? Let's do that. I've got some, I don't think they're defrosted yet. I've got a pineapple. I've got some raspberries here, frozen raspberries. Oh, where's them frozen? Oh, I failed miserably there. Oh, that'll do. There we go. And a bit of ice. We'll make it look pretty for the thumbnail. Where's my straw? Waste not, want not. Oh, see, that is perfect. The Aperol, the dialed back bitterness, the bitter I love. I've got to that point now, that age where I love the kind of bitter sweet thing going, the bitter fruity. That's a better way of describing it. That is very, very good. Oh, Aperol and the Jungle Birds are more my level. I like Campari, I like what it does, but Aperol is a little bit better. So there we go. That's Central Galactic. Definitely for spiced rum fans, I definitely think that's one to add to your collection, especially daiquiris. Oh, that is super, super good. Really like that. So let's get on to part 3 of the show, which is the mixer of the week. This week we are featuring Gunna, and more specifically their Turtle Juice. If you're watching this for the first time, essentially I pick a different mixer each week. Not kind of like a staple mixer that you would automatically think of, like Coke, ginger beer, ginger ale, that sort of stuff. I'm going completely random because I'm all about giving you guys inspiration. I want you to kind of open your horizons, because rum, way more than gin, will mix with so many different kind of things, and that's what I kind of want to show you. Like, there's so many different opportunities open for rum and mixers. Now, obviously, the second part of the mixer of the week is that goes into my shorts, which I do kind of roll out a week later on Instagram. But the shorts will drop on Saturday morning. 3 different, like, basically shorts are less than 60-second content. Basically, simple rum highballs, a couple like up to 5 ingredients, and that's what I've already done. They're already filmed. Amazing. So that's what basically is in store. I'm down to my last can. I had to quickly open that last one to finish do the third cocktail. Now, Gunna's Turtle Juice. Let's get into so Gunna as the brand. I'm not sure how old they are, but I first became aware of them sort of early, sort of probably Q2 of this year, kind of springtime, let's say, of 2021. I had to think what year it was in. That's when I first became aware of them. I don't know how long they've been about, but I instantly fell in love with them because, as I've alluded to quite a few times now, I've got to that point in my life where I really can't handle fizzy stuff too much or really overly carbonated. It just really kind of attacks my stomach, gives me the burps. I've already had the burps a couple of times through it. There's nothing I can really do with it. It's a combination of sweetness, sugar, maybe a little bit of citrus as well, but gas, fizzy stuff. I can't handle it. I fell in love with Gunna's stuff when I first tasted it because it is everything I want it to be in a mixer without being all that. So they are carbonated, but very minimally carbonated. You've got a bit of fizz to them, but not too much. They haven't got much sugar added to them at all, which makes them perfect for what you'll see in the shorts, in the shorts and the Instagram reels that will drop a week later. You'll see them, and basically YouTube shorts are TikToks essentially. But basically, what I love, because they haven't got the sugar, the whole point of that is that you can then add other flavours to them without them becoming overly sweet. I've said this time and time again. I said this last week, I think, with Fenton's Tropical Soda. If you're using a sweetened like a lilt or a ting or something like that, there's only a certain amount of sweetness you can add to it. You can add, by all means, you can add citrus to dial it back down, but the whole point, you've still got that sugar in there then, which for some people like me that can't really handle too much these days, they're kind of like a no-no, and that's why I really love them. So I'm just going to read you the bit on the back of the can, brand Gunna in essence. So battling the bland, that is their whole thing, battling the bland. They don't want tasteless sodas. So battling the bland. We make soft drinks that we make the soft drinks that we love. There we go. Sorry, I'll say that again. We make the soft drinks that we love with full-on flavour and true character, our antidote to bland recipes and forgettable personalities. Turtle Juice, this one is specifically, Turtle Juice is inspired by a mango daiquiri recipe we discovered in St. Lucia. St. Lucia, the home of Chairman's Reserve, full of tropical sunshine but without the rum, packed with sweet mangoes, a twist of lime and a hint of coconut to deliver an explosion of characterful flavour. So just quickly, a couple of other things. No artificial colours or flavourings are ever added. Less sugar, vegan friendly, and only 73 calories per can. 73? Yeah, 73 calories per can. I didn't know whether it was per 100 ml then, but 73 calories per can. So that is the Turtle Juice. Tropical lemonade, essentially mango, coconut and lime, and I'm absolutely full in love with it. I'm going to feature a few. You've already seen the ginger beer that I rock out. They've got a few other flavours that I'm not going to do them all 5 weeks in a row, but I'm just going to kind of intersperse them with other brands because I think they are delicious. And there'll be links in the show description of where you can get these from. Pretty much, they're not really out there in supermarkets or anything like that, but online really, really easily. So let's get to it. Let's have a little taste of this. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat here because, well, it's not cheat, a little bit of an extra test. That's the right word. It's not a cheat. It's a bit of an extra test because obviously if you've been watching, I've got a raspberry flavoured spiced rum there. And I kind of wanted to see what it tastes like. I know exactly what it tastes like with a normal spiced rum. So, but I kind of want to describe to you what it kind of tastes like with a normal spiced rum. So I've got that, and let's just go Sly Dog. I featured them last week. Let's just do Sly Dog. There we go. Is that about level? I can't really see. That looks about level with the ice. I'm going to add, I need to add, because I always drink my drinks with ice. So and I stopped, I didn't do it, and I should do. So there we go. Turtle juice, turtle juice, turtle juice. I think this stuff and the cocktails that you'll see on Saturday are flipping tasty. Absolutely amazing. So turtle juice, mango, coconut, hint of lime, Angostura. Angostura 1919. So good. It is so good. As I say, a little bit of carbonation there, but not too much. Actually not that sweet at all. If you're one of these people that really doesn't like sweet stuff, that is there. And the thing to note with this, I've had a few discussions, but I don't like it, it's not as sweet, it's not as sweet. It's a simple answer to that, because when I deep down, I was like, do you like the flavour? Yeah, the flavour is really nice, but I just don't, it's not, I need it a bit sweeter. Add a little bar spoon of sugar, because, you know, that's all the full flavour, like lilt and stuff like that. Or, well, the zeros don't add sugar, but whatever the sweetness they add, that's all we do. So if you want it a bit sweeter, but love the flavour, just add a little bar spoon of sugar syrup. Jobs are good. But for me, and that's why I kind of, when I go back to the old cocktails I used to do, Mr. Black, for instance, that's why I love Mr. Black over Kahlua. Because I love Kahlua, I love the taste of Kahlua, but it's sweetened, whereas Mr. Black is unsweetened, and you can sweeten it up. You can add flavours to sweeten it up. You can't add other flavours to Kahlua, in my opinion, because it is sweet and it will become oversweet in that sense. And that's why I love stuff like that. So we've got that. That's really good. The Central Galactic, so kind of raspberry-ish flavours. I prefer the normal rum, actually. I prefer the normal rum over. This is quite nice. It's just got the too strong in flavour, if that makes sense, in there. Not a, I believe I've used this before, but not a harmonious blend. There we go. Not a harmonious blend. But right, the Sly Dog. I relegated them to the shelf behind me. Let's put the Sly Dog there. So spiced rum, and that's a really good spiced rum. Watch last week's show. Yeah, see, that is a harmonious blend. It's just something in that really good kind of daiquiris in that, but with the coconut, mango, and lime. I don't know. Perhaps, I don't know. I don't want to. My last can, I'll have to order some more. Let's just dilute it down a little bit more, because it is a little bit stronger, I suppose. Yeah, it's better, but now obviously the drink is. Look, I'll be brutally honest. That tastes really good now. It does taste really good. Obviously, you've kind of, I guess because the rum is stronger, 43.5% versus 40. I guess you've got that going on. But yeah, you know, it's tasty. Perhaps that was it. You just add a bit more because it's stronger. My favourite, I think my favourite out and out is plain rum. I love what that does to plain rum. And I've tasted this many, many times. Plain rum, the cocktails that I've done one with Sly Dog. I've done one with Pussers, and I forget. Oh no, and I've done one with pineapple. I don't know whether you'll see that behind there. Can you see that behind? Oh, let's just get it outside it. With pineapple grenade. I thought, well, what else can I use? I thought, let's just do that. They are, all three of those are absolutely flipping amazing. So yeah, I highly recommend that. If that's up your street, less sweetened, full of flavour, mango, coconut, and lime. That is definitely one for you to check out. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching tonight's show. I've really enjoyed it. I don't know. This something in me tonight is maybe not as good, quite good. I don't know. I'll watch it back and see how it goes. Next week, I don't know what I'm featuring, except for the fact that I know Chairman's Reserve is definitely coming up because that only lost out by literally 2 or 3 votes. So that will be next week's Rum of the Week. Spiced rum wise, I've literally no idea because I've got, so I put out an Instagram story. I've got so many brands sending me stuff. In the next couple, I've already got mixers lined up for God knows how long. So we shall see what drops first, and then I'll do it in order of how they drop when they come. I receive them in the post. So stay tuned for that, which is coming up next week. But let me know your comments, let me know feedback, if there's anything I've missed, if there's anything you want me to cover in the future, any other little segments that would really help you in your kind of rum and your spiced rum journeys, then let me know. I'm open to feedback. I want to kind of, the show is not about me, it's about helping you guys and the rum community as a whole. So let me know how I can help you and serve you better. That's what I want to know, okay? It's not an egotistical journey, look at me, look at me. I want to kind of help you a bit more. That is all. So stay tuned for that. Coming up next week, obviously my new schedule, I think it's going to stick, is every Tuesday is a cocktail of the week. Every Thursday is the Rum Show. Every Saturday is 3 shorts, basically YouTube's TikToks. And then every Sunday is my live show. We'll be back to doing live shows. I was a bit ill last week, so hence why we cut off there. But there we go. I'll shut up. Members, legends, community, you've got an exclusive video coming up right now that will be live by the time this video finishes. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next week.